feels like every time we get to this period, and it feels like it happens every Christmas, there's the elephant in the room, or there's, you're being held hostage by this, you don't dare break the debt ceiling.
Welcome to the Debrief with the Washington Examiner. I'm Tiana Lowe, Doescher, and I'm here with our very own managing news editor, Chris Irvine.
Hey.
Chris, so much drama on the Hill over the last few days.
Yeah.
Describe it for those of us who are less in the weeds of the drama. There is this continuing resolution that is responsible for funding the federal government through the inauguration, right? Yeah. But now Elon Musk, our co-president, head of the Department of Government Efficiency, he just threw a total wrench in it.
Yeah, well, I think what happened was if you have to remember what the maths of the House is right now. And Mike Johnson is working with an incredibly slim majority, and we've known from the last few years that if even a couple of them step out of line or aren't on the same page, then it's going to be really, really difficult for him to kind of do anything. So he had to agree this deal, thought he had a deal with the help of Democrats, but as is ever the case with when these bills come through, you start to kind of peel back and see what's in there, and there's some real unsavory stuff where Republicans couldn't just hold their nose and get through it. One particular example was a one-year extension for the Global Engagement Center, which we have written about a lot at the Washington Examiner, which is all about kind of censorship of conservative media. And so when the likes of Josh Hawley, for example, jump on this and say this is outrageous, and then that continues to gather steam, who then comes in over the top? But, the master of Doge, Elon Musk, he says he wants it to go. A lot of Republicans kind of fall into line. And, from the early reporting that's kind of coming out is that Trump didn't apparently seem too bothered by it and kind of just wanted this to be done so that there would be funding going through the inauguration, as you say. But now Elon has come in and and Vivek obviously as well, saying, no, we don't want this. And Trump now has to kind of look like he needs to be the one calling the shots and act. It's really quite fascinating.
Yeah, one of the chief complaints I heard from a former very prominent Trump advisor yesterday was you don't get to have an opinion. You are not allowed, if you work for Donald Trump's opinion is your opinion, and you don't get to come out and put him in that position. And now it seems like, is this Trump trying to thread the needle where he's saying, maybe we just get rid of the debt ceiling entirely? Maybe that way we don't have to do that debate every single time we refund the government and just get this CR out of the way. That way then when he actually starts, that's when you can do the real spending changes with the tax bill or with the border bill.
Yeah, I mean, potentially. I think it's an interesting concept that Trump has thrown out there. And I know it's one that has had traction with Democrats before. It sort of feels like every time we get to this period, and it feels like it happens every Christmas, there's the elephant in the room, or there's you're being held hostage by this, you don't dare break the debt ceiling. Maybe if it was removed, maybe it would take some of the kind of pressure out the room, and it would let them kind of get along with passing some sort of clean resolution that I guess kicks the can down the road, so that by the time you do get to a Trump administration, maybe there's serious conversations that you can have. But all of this is to say that Musk and Ramaswamy have come in with the Department of Government Efficiency, or Doge, and they're all about cutting spending. And so even if you remove the debt ceiling, it isn't going to make that go away, that
Correct.
You need to cut spending. And I think we've seen how difficult it's going to be for Congress to kind of get out these habits of spending like drunken sailors, when you've now got two seriously rich businessmen who know what they're talking about saying, hang on, why are we spending on that? Why do we keep spending on stuff that we shouldn't be? And I think it's gonna be really quite painful for a lot in Congress to get their head round. We've got the likes of Chip Roy, obviously, who says, he's kind of been a canary in the coal mine for this for quite a while. And is it a case of Congress is its usual kind of chaotic self, or is it just they're going to have to swallow their medicine here?
Yeah, and just from the broader perspective of these larger-than-life characters, people that, we kind of read about in history books, the Da Vinci-style Elon Musk and Donald Trump, will there be a point where there are too many cooks in the kitchen? Because we've seen Donald Trump have blow-ups before with people that thought they were bigger than MAGA.
Oh, of course. I think that is something I'm personally fascinated by, the egos in the room. We all know that Trump likes to think that he is the smartest person in the room. He's even kind of alluded already to Elon not getting ahead of himself. He's joked about him hanging around Mar-a-Lago too much.
Oh, we've all heard the jokes.
We've all heard the jokes, but there is also a little bit of,
seriousness to it. Yeah.
Like, you better make sure that you don't get out ahead of me. I don't know if Trump has ever kind of come across someone with Elon's reach, his wealth, his intelligence, and his power. I can see Trump turning on him at some point. I don't even think it's a matter of if. I think it's a matter of when. Now, the question is, can Musk realize that just because he is this incredibly successful, uber wealthy, edge meme lord, whatever you want to call him, is he at some point going to say that he needs to take a step back? I don't think we've seen any sign of that from Musk in the last 5 to 10 years, and how he's kind of planted himself in the middle of the U.S. zeitgeist. He seems to think that he has the answer to everything, and at some point these two colossal heavyweights are going to clash, and it's going to be very entertaining for us. But America's going to be probably stuck in the middle, being like, "What did I do?" Yeah.
And it's almost the exact opposite that the Democratic Party has, where arguably they have too much party control. They can keep the AOCs out and the 74-year-olds with esophageal cancer in. Republicans, it's Trump. That is the party. And it's why if you're in, you get the Elon Vivek Doge position. If you're out, you're in the wilderness.
Yeah, exactly. And the Democrats, I do feel, I don't think I've ever really felt sorry for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, but I did this week a little bit. It did feel that I thought that they were kind of getting the message of turning the page on age and leadership.
That's what Gwen Walsh told us. We're going to turn the page.
Exactly. And yet here we are, and we've still got Nancy Pelosi calling the shots, even though she's got a broken hip in Luxembourg somewhere. And the Democrats don't seem to have kind of got the hint yet that their messaging hasn't been working, so maybe it's time for some new voices. I'm not saying that Ocasio-Cortez is the right voice.
Yeah, but maybe someone under the age of 65.
Sure, let's try it on for size, absolutely.
Yeah, you know, when you put it like that, Republicans should feel a little better. If they're governed by a rocket scientist and Dems are governed by a 84-year-old with a hip replacement in Germany, there you go. Please make sure to check out all of Chris's reporting at thewashingtonexaminer.com. Thank you so much, Chris.
Yeah, of course.
And don't forget to check our site for more news throughout this Christmas season. Like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. See you next year.